the last three short talks? If so, please come up to the mic.
A question for the Arvados presentation. So the database of cost estimates, I guess the first question is it an open database? And two, how does it deal with different parameters? Things like different versions or like input size difference?
So right now it's a record of what the actual cost was. So it's getting the the prices from Amazon, actually using like the spot instance APIs and recording that minute by minute, saying, okay, it ran for 7 minutes, it cost this much. So, and then actually storing that in the database. So we're not currently doing cost forecasting, but that is sort of the kind of thing that we'd like to use that information for. Yeah.
And is it something that like you would consider making open, or I guess your organization would consider making open?
Oh, the database itself? I think unfortunately, like the customers who like their workflows are probably consider them trade secrets. So it would require a set of workflows that were like standard benchmarks. And so I talked briefly about that at the very end. Is a project we are looking forward towards is having a standard set of workflows, reference hardware, reference things, and that would allow you to then have some timing and cost estimates that you could compare across them, by benchmarking.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Also for Arvada, one, is it installable on top of Kubernetes, on-prem Kubernetes? And what do you use? I assume some sort of object storage to pass data between tasks? Is it, okay.
So we don't currently support Kubernetes. We have found that it doesn't provide enough value for us. We use configuration management, salts, and like software packages, RPMs or Debian packages. We'll support Kubernetes someday. We have our own storage system called Keep, which runs on top of object storage or file storage, but that's actually a pretty complicated question, so we should talk about that later.
One last question.
Yes, a question for you as well.
Thank you.
So regarding I may have missed this, I'm sorry, but are you using AWS at the back end, or what are you using at the back end for compute?
So we support various different platforms. So you can run on AWS, but you can also run on HPC. So whether LSF or Slurm, it's agnostic. We can replace components to support different platforms.
I see. And where is the cost coming from? Or what are you talking about in terms of cost?
So as I said to Dennis, when to compute cost of running a workflow on AWS, it's based on the cost of that instance type that it's running on. So when a given job runs, it is sized to the appropriate instance type for like the amount of RAM or cores that it needs. And so then because we manage the entire execution, we have how long it was executed, what instance type it was on, how much that cost. And so we're recording that in the database, so we have a record of that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.